Okay, ladies, let's talk about using the Pursue God resources for your women's ministry. And before I get into the benefits, I want to just give you a quick overview of the website. So if you go to our homepage at PursueGOD.org, you'll see some tabs at the top. You can just do a search and search a word, whatever you want. You can go over to topics and you'll see a whole list of topics that we have available: marriage and family, life and relationships, money and budgeting, all sorts of goodies. You can also go over to the menu button and you can go down to the Just For You tab, and there you're going to find a tab that says women. You can also look at men, kids, youth, college, all sorts of stuff. But for this video, we're talking about women. And you'll see some different topics and some series that would be great for you as women to discuss. So the great news is all of this content is for free and it's very easy to use. So let's talk about some of the benefits. Well, the first thing we want to say is just your typical Bible studies, which there are many great ones out there, amazing teachers, amazing resources out there, but your typical Bible study is usually very study focused. And what that means is, that person who put out that information, they had a specific reason for what they were going to talk about. And they chose the topic and they chose the direction of thought, and you're just kind of taking that information and responding to it. And so what happens typically in that scenario then for most women's ministries then is you choose a Bible study and it becomes a kind of an inward focused experience. For the women that choose to come and sign up for that Bible study, they're being greatly impacted, great Bible teaching, and it's been good for them, but it becomes kind of an inward focused experience. It's not really, no one else in your life is really impacted by that information. It's just for you that you show up on whatever day that study's offered, you have some good fellowship, and it's great. But it's kind of an inward focused experience. And what we're trying to do with the Pursue God resources is that the content is, the emphasis is on conversation. And so what we're trying to do then by providing all these different topics and series for you is that you can watch a 5-minute video and you can get down to some questions and have some great conversation about just that one piece of information. We link to some scriptures and we have some action steps for you to take. If you scroll down a little bit further, there's even more topics that you could choose. And then what can happen through those conversations is it becomes a more viral experience. And here's what I mean by that. Instead of it just being a woman goes to a Bible study and she's impacted for herself, what you could do is go home to your husband and say, hey, let's use the Pursue God resources and let's go to the marriage and parenting and let's talk about some really important conversations for our marriage and for our kids. Then it's not only in your marriage, but you can go home and say, kids, let's go to the For Kids page and let's talk about some important biblical truth as it relates to your kids. And again, it's all about encouraging conversation then just beyond what you're doing as just a woman, that you can go home and make an impact in conversation with your spouse, with your kids. And then there's also that opportunity to have meaningful conversations with a neighbor or a friend who might be struggling in their marriage or lost in parenting or struggling with money, that you could go to the Pursue God resources and say, let's have some conversations about that. And so see what can happen with Pursue God then is it's a more viral experience that not just you learning and growing and maturing through what you learn through biblical knowledge, but that you can have conversations then in all these other areas of your life and make an impact on everybody else. And it's a more viral experience. So those are just a couple of reasons why I hope that you think about that as a women's ministry team, or if you're a director out there thinking, what am I going to do for my women, to really take some time to look at our resources and see if it couldn't be beneficial in creating some great movement in your own ministry. Look at the resources at the bottom and have this conversation with your ministry team and see if it could be right for you.